Join the Fuzz Buzz, where retired Lieutenant Jessica Taylor and retired Motors Officer Mike Gonzalez serve law enforcement's unfiltered reality. No PC, just raw, uncensored truth. 50 years in the trenches. Buckle up for a blunt, gritty ride behind the badge. No apologies here for shaking things up, demanding better policing, and real community action. It's raw, edgy, and a streetwise journey towards solutions. So strap in and let's rev this truth up.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. That it is.
Like my
February
coat,
14th.
my Walmart jacket.
Oh, why do you gotta go and just ruin it like that? Just
No,
your
it's
heart
not
jacket.
ruining
So
it.
you had to, then you had to go and say Walmart.
Well, you should be impressed that I only spent like $10 on it.
Yeah, but you have like 100 of those
Okay, yeah.
kind of jackets.
It's true.
spent
It's
$10.
true. It's true.
So-
You gave me the lecture the other day. Okay, so for Valentine's Day, Mike got me like little paws from the ladies.
Right? Because it's all about the kids.
See? And then he got me the cutest balloon. That's a golden retriever. And-
Tula hates.
which Chula hates.
She's
And then he
afraid-
got
afraid
me
of it.
this mug. Can you guys see it? A girl and her dogs. Says a bond that can't be broken. Tula, Jess, and Moxie. So how cute is that?
It's pretty accurate though too, because Tula's a little more of a reddish and
Yeah.
Moxie's more of a blonde.
So, but you had to do like some art designing skills, yeah?
Yeah, I just had to, kind of like, do I like this hairstyle, that color hair, just kind of balancing everything out. So, that way he gets the most representation of you and the dogs.
Right. So our plans tonight are to go out to dinner and then to the hockey game,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Playing Spokane.
Yeah. Tri-City American. So for you folks out there, it's like not the Krakens, not the NHL, but it's a WHL 16 to 21. Next week, next Saturday, there'll be the law enforcement firefighters
Right.
pregame that.
Oh,
It's always
so
fun.
fun.
It's
It was
fun.
fun. It's fun. Okay, so in local news, did you hear that Fred Hutch has cut out the DEI program?
Fred Hutch.
Yeah, the Cancer Center. And
It's like the Hutch Institute of Cancer Research and Technology. So that's huge.
we are sick of this shit. Yeah. Yep. And when you're going into cancer treatment, is the first thing you worry about is who's giving you your chemo or whatever.
Or do you think the administration, the first thing they think of is, oh my God, are they DEI qualified? No, it's like it's just humans being humans.
It's the stupidest shit
Right.
ever. Okay, so remember in one episode we were talking about the UW?
Oh, which episode? We're always talking about that.
We were talking about the Turning Point event.
Right. Where they, that Olivia woman was, basically she couldn't give her speech and they essentially just kidnapped her by having her hole up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up there suing.
Oh, I don't what? Hell yes.
Says UW Seattle is hit with a Title IX complaint for letting radicals shut down the Turning Point USA featuring Olivia, whatever her last name is.
Krolsick? Yeah, I don't. Sorry if we butchered it.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry. So then Jason goes on to say, officials at the University of Seattle, Washington say that
sat by as
violent Antifa radicals forced student members of the campus of Turning Point USA to cancel an event that was focused on women's rights, blah, 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 blah. And then Olivia goes on to say that the threats from the trans agenda on January 21st, 2025, however, approximately 200 left-wing students and outside agitators prevented the event from taking place. She said she was eventually, get this, okay, instructed by police officers to dress in a police uniform they provided in order to disguise herself.
for her own safety.
For her own safety.
What? And I hate to say it, but that's a feckless police department. If that's
I just like
if that's the best they can come up with.
Like shocked.
Right. Instead of
handling the problem, we're going to put you in a police uniform and shuffle you out.
Well, and again, feckless because they bowed down to the mob of what, maybe 20 radicals. I mean, seriously, it's like, be a cop, do your job, kick them off the campus, let her speak, and let the students that want to, attend.
I just don't even know what to even say about that. I remember one time at the tree lighting ceremony downtown, Antifa had gotten them, the cops and the mayor, whoever, cornered in a broom closet somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they were like sending up balloons with notes on them that said fuck off or fuck you or fuck the police or something like that. Anyways, I just can't believe that we've gotten to this point, right? So now apparently blast balls are back on the table for crowd control. However, for every blast ball day or deployment or whatever, you have to have permission from SpongeBob Squishy Pants Bruce Harrell, who can't make a decision to save his life. So basically, you don't have blast balls.
Right.
Right.
It's just, again, skirting the system.
Yeah. So also we have the Jason Rantz breaking news that nearly 14,000 union workers file a class action lawsuit against the city of Seattle. Do you know anything about that?
Just a little bit. Basically, it boils down to their payroll system that they tried to implement, and then I don't know how many people told them they'd fail, and they did it anyway. So, all these people were without paychecks and their overtime and whatnot for a while.
14,000 workers are suing, and they allege that widespread wage theft following the city of Seattle implementation of the new payroll system powered by Workday in September of 2024. City of Seattle workers claim that they have been underpaid, not paid at all, or have had incorrect deductions and benefit accruals due to ongoing payroll systems. The three worker unions members with Professional and Technical Employee Local 17, the International Association of Firefighters, Local 27, and the Seattle Police Officers Guild, SPOG.
Right. I didn't realize they were alleging theft also, but I could see that because, I mean, if it's like anything else, whenever we went through our contract negotiations and, it takes 4 years to get it done, then you have all that back money, the back pay they owe you. I mean, they'd hold on to that as long as possible to collect all the interest off of that.
Right. And I don't know how true this is, but I heard that the payroll system was switched over because Bruce Harrell and his nepotism ways hired his deputy mayor was his niece, I believe. And this was like, she shoot in this program.
Her brainchild for her.
So then we go on to our stellar attorney general for Washington, who is just a train wreck. He was voted off the island. Attorney General Nick Brown says, my message to the president is this: follow the damn law. Today, I joined Governor Bob Ferguson and other state leaders to reiterate Washington will protect its people, resources, and values from a lawless presidential administration. Our state will defend and protect the rule of law.
But I, like Governor Ferguson, are driven by protecting Washington law and protecting Washington values. And my only message to the President of the United States is to follow the law. You are in control of the United States House of Representatives, the United States Senate. You have cabinet directors appointed, and the majority of the Supreme Court has been appointed by Republican presidents. Follow the damn law. It's not that hard. But time and time again, this president has exhibited his disdain for the U.S. Constitution, and we cannot let that happen. And so we will continue to use our processes and our courts to make sure that the president, like anybody else, follows the law. But
what are you even saying?
Right. I mean, if you're going to say follow the damn law, why doesn't he look to that gentleman to his right and see how often he followed the damn law?
Fergie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of Fergie, let's see if we can see what Fergie says. Ari Hoffman shared something. He says, Fergie is big mad. He knows he can't do anything about President Trump cutting federal funding because Washington won't follow the law. Bob also knows that the mainstream media that got him elected is mad at him and not being available. So he calls a presser to sound tough, but says nothing.
It's about right.
Does that?
It sounds about right. For
Yeah.
Bob Ferguson. I mean, they called him Sideshow Bob for a reason as the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Just a joke.
Yeah.
My hope is that every Washingtonian, regardless of who they voted for president, can get behind the following principles. We will protect the civil rights of all Washingtonians. Respect the right to health care that is prescribed by a doctor, not a politician. We will stand up for all law-abiding residents who are contributing to our state and our economies, regardless of their immigration status. We will create good-paying jobs in all corners of our state. President Trump's chaos will not stop us from working on behalf of the people. We will continue to do our job and serve the everyday needs of Washingtonians, while we are protecting Washingtonians from any cruel and unconstitutional actions.
So basically, you want to subvert the law, is what it sounds like to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, they're saying follow the damn law, but here you are, you're disregarding federal law, especially when it comes to illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. So it's like,
Like this guy. Seattle ICE arrests Salvadorian fugitive wanted for murder in El Salvador. Yep. So Ferguson, I guess, doesn't want him arrested. Is that?
Oh, no, he probably wants him released.
Yeah, right.
Right.
If he has been arrested, he wants him released, or he doesn't want him arrested in the first place, because these are the kind of people that we want running around in our city.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure the citizens of Seattle are really, really done with this shit. In fact, they're really extra done with this shit when they see this, I'm sure. Instead of fighting crime, we're more interested instead of dealing with crime, overdoses, homelessness, and affordability, Democrats want to redesign the Washington flag.
Yeah. They think George Washington's too white, I guess.
Is that what it is?
No.
I didn't read.
It has to do with, it basically, it borders on the whole white supremacy, why do we need a white guy up there? But they're just saying it's drab, boring. We need to spruce it up, I guess.
Well, I also read somewhere that Washington is the only state with a president on their flag or something like that. And so.
Well, how many other states are named after a president though, right?
Oh, good point. I never even thought of that.
So, it's like George Washington,
Very good.
So,
I never even thought that. I never put that together. Never.
You sure you don't want to edit that?
I'm not taking that out. No, I'm not. I have never, ever. Yeah. That has never even crossed my mind.
Yeah, well, there's a few states that are named after presidents, but not states, but capitals, but and cities. But I don't think there's no Lincoln. They want to make a Lincoln state. They want Eastern Washington to be called Lincoln.
What?
You never
say
heard
that again?
So there's always talk because Washington State is so freaking divided. East of the Cascades gets no representation, and they win nothing in Olympia or the West Side. So you've heard the talks about how they always want to split the state, just kind of and they wanted to say, okay, well, the left side, Western Washington, will be called Washington State, and then Eastern Washington, the right side, will be called Lincoln State.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, they should just split Oregon and Washington in half and just combine Eastern Oregon and Washington and Western Oregon and Washington. We'll never get proper representation though, either in Olympia, because we don't have the population. We have the land mass. We're probably square acres larger than Western Washington, but like we've always talked about, King County, Pierce County, and Snohomish County,
right,
dominate the state.
Yeah. This guy, he is sheriff. I don't know. Sheriff somebody.
Buford T. Justice. No, just kidding.
He's the sheriff of KLICK'itat County in Washington.
KLICK'itat.
KLICK'itat. KLICK'itat?
KLICK'itat. Let's see the click. As you prefer. Oh my God, you snorted too. All right, we're on a roll. Happy Valentine's Day, folks. So anyways.
Did you see that shirt? I sent you that video, right, of the women that go like on that cruise or whatever?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go down a hole. I probably shouldn't go down, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So this group of women go on a cruise, and they all do a shirt exchange at the beginning. And the deal is you have to wear your shirt the entire day.
The first
Right.
day, yeah. The first day of the cruise.
And there were some doozies in there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
one of them was, I got bears.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the better ones and the memorable ones. But yeah.
She had to have been like in her 60s or 50s or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some good
I
shit.
mean, I was just crying. There was some funny shit in there.
You got to pull that up for one of your funnies at the end of these the episodes
It's so damn
because it's
funny.
worth it.
It's worth it. I mean, I was just rolling. So, anyways, this guy says basically, fuck you. I won't be following any sanctuary policies.
Good for him.
I want to send a message to ICE. If you need any help at all, put me on speed dial.
I want to send a message to the ICE. If you need any help at all, put me on speed dial. We will be there to help you. We will not protect criminals, illegal criminals that are in our country, the drug dealers, the human trafficking, and just the mere fact of sneaking across that border. Well, they didn't sneak. Some of them have, but most of them, they just waded across and come into our country. No controls whatsoever. And now we got millions of illegals in our country. And they commit a law, breaking the law as well. But the main ones they want to come after first is the criminal illegals. And we will help them any way we can. I don't care if this is a blue state, a sanctuary state. They have an obligation. Our governor, our new governor is going to take office, has an obligation to the safety of our state. And if they refuse, that's on them. But this sheriff is not going to refuse to help ICE.
Amen.
Amen. Good. I mean, he's an elected official. He
Right.
took an oath, and I think part of it is, to follow the laws of the Constitution.
I'm pretty sure that's written in
And
what you're supposed to do with law enforcement.
And if if the people that elected him don't like it, then they don't reelect him. But good for him for just
Mm-hmm.
following the oath and obeying the law.
Right.
He's following the damn law.
Yeah, he's
Attorney
following the
General.
law.
Damn law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Brown
Voted off the
voted
island.
off the
Yeah.
island.
No.
Douche. Okay. So, but here comes Pam Bondi. She doesn't give a fuck, right? She's like,
Yeah, she's like number 2 behind Carolyn Levitt, right? She's just like, I'm going to tell you as it is.
yeah. So here she comes.
Trump has directed this to stop. And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois. Strike 1. Strike 2 is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next. Get ready. President Trump has directed.
You hear that, Ferguson? You hear that, Nick? You hear that, SpongeBob?
Right. And, as we're talking, they're going to get hurt the most by all that money they're going to lose if, when they go to start withholding the federal funds.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's like they're trying to, it's so hypocritical. I mean, everything right now is hypocrisy on the left compared to the right because they're screaming, this is all lawfare. It's like, they just try to put President Trump in jail. How many times unlawfully?
Right.
And now they're following the law and, now they're saying that they're weaponizing the DOJ and starting the lawfare. You guys have been doing that for the last 3 years.
Longer.
Right. Right. Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that started back before his first term when they the
Mhm.
Russian collusion hoax. But it's just they're whining because they're not in power. He's right, and they are following the law. They're Nick Brown, and you just don't like it.
Yeah. And so Trump went ahead and said to this federal judge for Western Washington, you're fired.
Yep. There
Like-
you go.
You're done.
Right. I mean, it's yeah. And everybody's big mad. It's like he's firing all these people unconstitutionally. No, he's firing these people for not doing their jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around what you're so damn mad about. Is it that you're just losing all this money, or?
Oh no, they're just mad because they're losing. Yeah, USAID is a big thing for them, but they're not in power, and there's nothing they can do to. I mean, well, they can slow down the steamroller, as I call it, of Doge and President Trump and all executive orders, but. You know, he's smart. He's a businessman. Elon Musk is a brilliant man. They're not going to break the law. They're going to follow the law. So you can't do your constitutional crisis.
Yeah, which is the new buzzword, by the way,
Right.
Constitutional crisis. So we've got Elon Musk saying if any judge anywhere can stop every presidential action everywhere, then we do not have a democracy.
Right. Why vote a president in if every Tom, Dick, and Harry judicial judge, no matter what level they're
Or
on,
what state?
what state? Yeah.
It doesn't. I learned that this is what they wanted. This is what the Trump presidency wanted, was
Right.
for them to do this, because then Trump will act within the law and get all their shit thrown out.
And it empowers them even more. And I think that's another reason why the left is big mad, is they're thinking that the first temporary, order that halted what, Doge and President Trump were trying to do, he thought he's going to come out swinging by just disobeying the judge's order. And then the left could say, see, he's not following a judge. He's constitutional crisis. He's not doing that. So again, they're big mad because he's already 2 steps ahead of them.
They don't like that.
Or the 4D chess, or whatever they want to call it. He is a smart businessman.
Well, yeah, and he's a very transparent.
Transactional,
transparent.
Right.
And so this dude, who goes by One Bad Dude.
One bad hombre.
I love living in a country where you can wake up every day and say, I wonder what the president's up to today. And you can just find it out. You just figure it out. It's online at basically just whatever he's doing. He's signing executive orders. Oh, it's being live streamed. He's visiting families that fell victim to a hurricane. Oh, it's on Fox News right now. He's doing a private dinner. Oh, well, they're live streaming that too. I wonder what his policy changes are. Oh, well, he was watching the Super Bowl and just decided to get rid of the penny, and he tweeted about it to let everyone know. This is the most American thing I've ever seen.
Right?
Yeah.
4 years of Sleepy Joe, Dementia
4
Joe.
years of just hiding shit. Well, more than 4 years. Decades worth of just hiding shit.
Well, no, as far as like a president goes, I mean, there's no access to Sleepy Joe Biden for the last. Yeah. That's what this gentleman's talking about, is like access to the president, transparent, and like you said, and what's going on, because he's not afraid to let the press come at him.
Yeah. Right. So Elon says it's almost like there's a massive uniparty grift machine in DC.
Uniparty being the key word.
Yeah.
You are correct. I mean, this whole USAID is just tip of the iceberg. I can't wait, as we're talking, for when they dive into the Pentagon and the Defense Department.
Dive into all sorts of things. Red Cross.
Right.
It's going to get ugly, and you guys are just going to be
there's going to be
shocked.
a lot of Republicans who are going to get caught on the grift.
Yeah.
So it's not just a Democratic left-leaning. USAID might be more left-leaning Democratic, but once you get into the Pentagon, it might be a lot of red states going, oop. See.
Yeah. Well, we definitely have way more rhinos than we should have.
Mm-hmm.
Republican in name only, if you don't know what that means. And it's just disgusting.
You know what I just thought about, since you said rhinos, that's really making the left damn mad, is all of President Trump's nominees are just going through. Now they're going to have all these rhinos step up and just shut down Tulsi Gabbard, shut down RFK.
I don't know how you can shut down Tulsi Gabbard. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
She is like the biggest badass.
Right. And
I posted a TikTok, and TikTok actually censored it. It's unbelievable.
The reason why is because she's a badass. They want to censor that because she's going to Cash Patel, Yeah, I know that you're still out on him, but he's going to be a wrecking ball.
I'm not out on him.
Right. Not, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you want him in, but you're like, it's like
There's
there's still something there.
Something just feels fishy about it, but I don't know. I don't have anything to base that on. It's
Right.
just
But they're all going to be
my
wrecking
gut.
balls. I mean, RFKJ is a wrecking ball. Tulsi Gabbard's a
Yeah,
wrecking ball.
and RFKJ, he was in tears when his nomination went through because this is all he's ever wanted was like.
And did you see the bullshit MSNBC did?
No, I don't. No, I didn't.
Basically, they muted his
his
acceptance speech, brought in some other advocate who just talked shit about him, and then basically went to commercial. Wouldn't even let his acceptance speech be played.
Are you serious?
Yep. I mean, that's how big mad they are, but yeah.
I hate these people.
Right.
I hate them.
Wrecking balls coming through, and that's why the Dems, I mean, the grift is over.
So nationally, in law enforcement, we have these people who are violating federal law and they should be in prison. Here we go again. LAPD police commissioner directs a department to coach illegal aliens on how to evade ICE.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Hopefully Pam Bondi, the attorney general, will be subpoenaing that police commissioner to come to DC like she did for Governor Hochul and Attorney General Tish James. So he might be on the receiving end of a subpoena of his own, hopefully real soon.
So why don't you, speaking of police, let's cue up our police training videos.
Oh, okay. Well, these are short videos though, too.
Yeah,
but the first one's going to be in Tampa, Florida. And it's basically, well, let's just play it out. It's Tampa, Florida. You got a 21-year detective. So here we go.
How you doing?
Good, ma'am.
Good. You have any ID on you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any ID? Just tell me your name.
Matthew Fowler, ma'am.
Give your hands on your pocket. What's your name?
Matthew Fowler, ma'am.
Fallman.
Fowler.
Fowler.
Matthaw. It's right
Fowler.
here, ma'am.
It's all right. I don't need you. Yeah, you're good. I don't need you to grab for anything.
Excuse me, ma'am. What's going on?
How are you?
Good.
Why don't you just put your hands on your head for me?
I gotta put my
Put your hands on your head.
Hold on. All right, man. Let me get on my bed.
Let me go and pause this real quick. So the reason for this detainment is they're in the area on an unrelated investigative matter, and they saw this guy trying door handles on cars and apartment doors. He is actually trying to gain entry into these apartments. So that's the reason why they are stopping and trying to get some ID on him.
Mm-hmm. He's got a gun. He's got a gun.
Let me go. Let me go. You better let me go. Let go.
No, send more units. Send more. Shots fired. Shots fired.
So as a precursor, as Jess always likes to say, this is the first time we both watched this. I just read the synopsis on it, and yeah, that was the reason for the stop. And then you can just see how quickly it can go sideways. What are your thoughts?
Okay, well, let's work through it. So the complaint comes in that there's a car prowl or trying door handle, attempted car prowls or whatever, right?
No, they were there on an unrelated matter on a follow-up investigation when they observed him.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I was thinking a witness and somebody to ID them.
Oh,
was missing.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're there for an unrelated follow-up investigation. I think they're not even burglary, theft gals, officers. And they observed him trying door handles on cars and actually door handles of apartments.
Okay.
And that's why they contacted him.
Okay. So, because my first thought was, did you have somebody ID him before you started asking him for his ID and taking his hands out of his pockets and putting his hands on his head and all that kind of stuff? Right?
Did you contact that independent witness that said, this is what I saw? Yeah,
right. So I thought that was missing. I'm like, ooh, and we're already in trouble here. But since that is not the case, what do I think? Well, I think you have every right to contact him.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't tell him why you stopped him. So to go from hey, stop, I need your ID.
Right.
You know, I think you have an argument there, right?
The big PBR in his hand there.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Yeah, he had a tall boy of PBR drinking from it.
Yeah. And then you've got the other officer just walking up with her hands in her pockets.
Right.
You know, and he does start reaching. She's like, no, just give me your name. Just give me your name. So that's good. And then I guess they see a gun and he takes off and shots were fired, I guess. Is
Right. Yeah, it looked like he was he went to reach and she finally had enough, and that's where you lost like the sense of what was going on, because the camera got up close because he reached one too many times and she went hands on, and I just think in the struggle he was able to get separation and draw a gun.
So she fired.
Right.
Did she hit him? She looked like she hit him.
I know it looked like he kind of took a stumble, but
He either took a stumble or he was shot. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought maybe he stumbled because he was shot. It was hit, but yeah, it could have been either way.
Okay, so in today's policing atmosphere, what do you think?
I think they did, they did things right as for, I honestly think they could have gone a little more if they saw that he was a potential car prowler or a potential burglar. You definitely, like you said, identify yourself, or identify the reason for the stop.
They look like they weren't dressed like in,
No,
or at least one cop wasn't dressed in like a full police kind of uniform.
no, they're
thing.
detectives, because I'm looking at here. You got a 21-year detective and you got a 9-year detective out of Tampa, Florida. They were in the area investigating, following up on an unrelated robbery. When it says they're in the apartment complex, the address, while in the complex parking lot, they observed the 23-year-old suspect trying to enter vehicles and apartment doors. During an attempt to identify Fowler, the suspect, struggle ensued, and he drew a Glock 9mm. So, I mean, I think they were doing it correctly for this day and age. Like you said, the other officer walked up with their hands in the pockets. We sometimes get a little too complacent. You definitely got to know your area. And if that's an area, if you're following up on a robbery investigation, you're probably going to run into people.
Well, it sounds like maybe you're looking for this guy. You're following up on burglaries in the area or whatever.
No, robbery.
Right. This could be your guy. You've only got two of you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest.
It's always so hard to say, because I think from the way I read it, they were probably going to follow up on a different, at an apartment.
Yeah, and it does happen a lot like that.
And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, you're just like, where'd that guy come from? And next thing you know, you're wrapped up into something else.
Yeah, shit does actually just pop out in front of you sometimes.
Right.
And you just have to deal with it. And sometimes it just goes sideways. It just does.
And I'd hate to think that because of, in today's society, the way they crucify officers for being too heavy-handed or too quick to go hands-on, too quick to, control a suspect, that might have kind of played into, okay.
I mean, you can't win in law enforcement anymore. You cannot win. It doesn't matter what you do. So whether she went hands-on right off the bat or she went hands-on later, it doesn't matter. She's going to lose. So,
and then bottom line is they went hands-on, a struggle ensued. He broke free, drew a gun, and shots were fired. So, in hindsight, I think, I couldn't, aside from hemming him up a little earlier, they were doing what they could. I mean,
I don't think they did anything wrong. I think that they, were given this shit stack of cards.
Right.
This guy just happened to be there. They witness him doing shady shit.
Right. And
they're definitely at reasonable suspicion.
Oh,
right? They can ID him. Then he starts reaching in this pocket and getting fidgety and doing the furtive movement thing. And it just goes fucking sideways.
Like it can. Yep.
But what I was going to say is, you see him doing all this. Get on the radio, get more people coming. Now, I don't know if that happened. Tell him why you're stopping him, because they're going to yank everything out of the book. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You didn't do this, know? So, but other than that, I mean, it happens.
Right.
You have a second video?
I do. So this one I did see. You haven't.
Okay.
So this is basically, you got everybody and their mother's task force out on an auto theft task force, and they happen to come across this car. This is actually in Waterbury, Connecticut this time, on February 5th of 2025. So just a few days ago. But yeah, so you got, let's see, you got the auto theft task force, you got ATF, you got Vice, you got intelligence unit, and the Connecticut Violent Criminal Task Force.
For auto theft?
Were conducting patrols along Willow Street and Hillside Avenue. During this time, officers observed a 2007 Honda Accord.
They must be working some kind of gang or something like that, because there's a ridiculous amount of agencies on an auto theft.
Right. They're just working a whole street. But, you know, but yeah, they started off with the auto theft task.
Well, clearly they have a Shipbird Street in Connecticut. So.
Right. All right, here we go. So,
car! Stop the
Get out of the car! Get out of the Let go, dude. Let go. Let go.
all righty there.
I've seen this situation happen and play out
Too
way
often.
more than once
Too often.
in real life.
Where to start?
Yeah. Okay. So, what is the crime?
Stolen car.
That's it, right?
Right. That's it.
So you've just got a property crime.
Yeah. That car was stolen earlier in a different jurisdiction, but it popped up on their, you know, their screen as stolen.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember this one call. It played out just like this. Do you know which one I'm talking about? It was just the biggest headache ever.
Was I there?
No. Why would you be there?
I don't know.
We've never been on the same call.
Oh, we've been on a few same calls.
When we were both officers, but not when I was a supervisor.
Oh, yeah, true.
You take out the window. You've got an innocent in the car. Well, I mean, as far as you know, you don't know what she is, but you've got somebody in there who can't control, and she might want to get out and just cooperate, but now you're forcing this car.
If you heard her, she said she wanted out.
Yeah. That is an officer created jeopardy, in my opinion.
Well, let's start. What do you think of the felony stop?
What felony stop? Is that what you're getting at?
Exactly. I mean, you got the stolen car. I mean, how often do you what training tells you you got a stolen car, you drive up on it, you jump out and you just go to the door windows and start bashing out windows?
None that I've ever been to.
Right. So, we're being critical of the tactics.
But I haven't seen it. So I'm not Monday night quarterback.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I mean, when I saw the car, the in-car video, and all of a sudden you see two other officers run around to the doors before anybody's like, turn off the engine, step out of the vehicle. This is a felony stop. They're just like,
it's like cold black. There was no tactical anything. They were in the crossfire.
Right.
You have an innocent in the car that wants out.
Right.
Now you've crashed the car into
some civilian's car, and that might be their only mode of transportation to get to and from work. You know,
I mean, you've created a clusterfuck.
And on top of that, the officer that ran to the passenger side, he ran in between a moving patrol vehicle and a potentially stolen vehicle that could
back up,
or the patrol officer, the officer in the patrol car could have, did a different maneuver to try to, it's just, you don't run in between moving vehicles. I mean, that's another.
That whole thing was not good.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, and we're not. This is Connecticut. I'm not going to
Right,
critique what the officer did in the patrol car, but we would be hemmed up if we rammed that car that way, because ramming is a use of deadly force. And so
I have seen this situation so many times.
Right.
Yeah, it's a property crime. You'll get them next time.
Yeah. In this day and age, I mean, like I said, this was February 5th of this year. The way
You can't do it like that anymore.
No, that was something that you could get away with 20 years ago, but not today.
Mm-mm.
And so it's just, who knows if they're all, there's like so many different units and some probably, and some
Yeah. And that's the
some
other
different
problem, right? Is
departments,
you
right?
have like some units, like
Got
I know
ATF.
with SPD, with DOC has like virtually no rules, right? So if SPD is working with DOC can be the heavy because SPD has rules.
Right.
And that was creating such a headache because DOC can just do whatever they want, and it automatically just sucks SPD in.
Right. And it's like a gray area
It's gray area, which really isn't gray in my opinion. I mean, if DOC wants to do their thing, let DOC do their thing, but do not let DOC suck you down this road of, I mean, it's not the same. So now you've got all these agencies, right? You've got federal agencies, local agencies, and all the laws are
State,
different.
whatever,
And they've all got different things
Uses
that they
of
can
force,
do. And some don't even have to report force, but I'm pretty sure that local Connecticut has to report force.
Tactically, I just saw that as a nightmare because I was in a tactical unit for a while. I shuddered when the first time I saw it. I was like, oh my God, you run up on a door window. And it's like, you're using a baton or an asp or whatever to break it out. Somebody's like, now what? You brought an asp to a gunfight and you didn't have good cover.
The whole thing was not good.
Yeah.
So.
Right. This is for educational purposes.
Educational purposes only. But in my opinion,
fail. How would you like to be the lieutenant on that use of force?
Well, having been the lieutenant on something very similar to that several times, it's not fun.
Right.
It is not fun.
Because then the officers are now pissed off because you're like, okay, now I got to send this up for investigation.
Well, they're pissed because they're like, well, we used to do it this way. Well, yeah, we did.
It's like, dude, we got the arrest.
It's property crime.
Yeah. Like you said, though, that female, granted, more times than not, they're part of the dirtbag situation.
Sure, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, what they don't know if they come out and say, I didn't know the car was stolen. I was just, he was just giving me a ride to work. Now I'm getting, assaulted and rammed and hell of a lawsuit. Yeah.
Okay. So are we done with that one?
We're done with that one.
Okay.
Unless you want to
pause, please. I need to change my outfit. We're back. Costume change. Okay. Did we go to the moon, Michael?
No.
Have you always thought that?
Well, no. I mean, once I got old enough to recognize technology, then it's probably been 5+ years now. I mean, it wasn't like my whole life, but yeah, it's been more. It's been a few years now since I stopped believing that whole nonsense. But yeah, how about you?
Well, I always thought that we went to the moon. Like I said in a prior podcast, we went to the Kennedy Space Center. I was all fucking in on going to the moon.
Right.
I was just sure of it. Now I am sure of it that all of this is another bullshit scam, just like everything else.
Right. And like I said, it's been 5 maybe years ago that I stopped believing in that. But yeah.
So here we have these astronauts, right, who have been stranded in space for 251 days. There you go. Right. And so now they're going to get some huge payout when they ever finally make it back home. But they're not even there. I mean, I don't believe this story for one fucking second. Not one.
Right.
No, there is no way. There is no way that an astronaut would be stranded in space with the technology that we do have right now, and especially Elon Musk, at the space station or wherever the hell it is that they are for 251 days. That would not happen.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Let's look at it this way. If they went up there for an 8-day mission and they can't get them down, and where are they getting their supplies?
Right.
They didn't have 251 days worth of supplies. They only went up there, only expected to be up there for 8 days.
So somebody's getting them their supplies, right?
Well, if they can get them supplies, then why can't they get them home?
I know none of it makes sense.
That's my point. Yeah.
None of it makes sense. There is no way that these people have been there 251 days. And I wouldn't even say they'd been there 8 days.
And I don't mean to be like rude, but
go ahead and be rude. It's fine.
I'm looking at her and I'm just like, that's the peak fitness, sending to space.
I don't believe this to be true at all. I don't buy it for 1 second. And I think the new money laundering term is stuck in space.
So what happens though if Doge goes into NASA?
Oh, Doge better go into NASA, because I'm telling you what, a good chunk of laundered money is in NASA.
Right.
Have you seen anything coming from NASA that's any kind of anything like is NASA putting up Starlink? Is NASA trying to get to Mars? Has NASA even been back to the moon? NASA gets billions and billions and billions of dollars like a week or a day. What are they doing? What are they doing? They can't even get these people out of space for $251. Come on, get out of here with that shit. I don't buy it for fucking second.
But they're going to say, well, Elon's just going to dismantle NASA so he can take over, because that's the whole,
his whole objective. Die up there
because he's like a billionaire, but he wants more money. And,
I can see it now. Yeah. Okay, I got to change my outfit again.
Oh my God, another
one. Okay. Wait. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
There it is.
You already did it. But anyways, so they, Doge shuts down the Department of Education, and they have their security guy out here in front of the building, just freaking stoic as these freaking lefty loons are trying to make a scene in front of the cameras and do all this kind of stuff, right? And he just does not budge. He just sits there and takes it, where most people would be like, myself included, chipping back, like, just shut up. You're piercing my ears. This guy is just not doing it at all. Let me see if I can play a little bit of the video. Won't watch the whole thing.
No, we're here. Max, ask the question again. That's important.
Were you told, are you making this decision to stand in front of this door on your own behalf, on behalf of the Department of Education, or were you told to come out here and block members of Congress and go at the desk?
Doing my job.
So everybody's what is that?
We're doing our jobs.
We're trying to save your
It's
job.
non-responsive.
Show me your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
Access to federal buildings.
We're allowed in there.
So a private security contractor.
Do you know who members of Congress are?
Members of Congress.
We're all members of Congress. Maybe he doesn't understand. Do you
A private
understand who
security
members of Congress are?
is making the decision to block members.
So I have to give credit where credit is due. And so this guy is just like the hit of the internet, just taking on all these lunatics.
Do you know who we are? Yeah.
And he's just like, So they try to get this guy's name just to like give him a shout out or whatever, just like, good job, dude. So I've never heard this term before, but Bongino said it. What is it?
First name unknown, last name unknown. It's a cop term.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Fanulalu? How do you say it?
Fanulalu.
Fanulalu.
Right. I mean, I've never heard of Fanulalu, but it's like, when you're dealing with people, it's like, okay, yeah, we got a suspect. His first name's unknown. His last name's unknown.
Well, yeah, I mean that, but I've never heard of Fanulalu.
Yeah.
So happy Valentine's Day, you guys. If you'll please like and subscribe, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Fuzz Buzz Podcast. If you're enjoying what you've heard today, please feel free to rate, subscribe, or leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Fuzz Buzz. Y'all be good out there.